Hello everyone and welcome to another Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft, and it's a pack with a couple of very nice green options and good red option. Of course the rare is gonna be the peak here. This is just an incredibly effective body with an ability. I mean, I would play a 3 mana 3/4 Vigilance creature. That's not even a double caster always, and I would pick it highly, maybe not as highly of course as this thing, which already provides value as an ETB, and then of course if it gets to attack you get more map tokens. That's just a great rare. Easily the first pick here. A Triumphant Jump and Colossus Dactyl are good ones too. I'm not actually sure which one I would have want to first pick. This is a 4-drop, but it's highly efficient one. With the reach makes a big difference when there are so many decks in this format that win in the air. This is a shock sometimes much better, but yeah, I think I slightly prefer the Colossus Dactyl, but this is also not splashable. Well, this might be, doesn't matter though, this is an easy pick. The Sentinel will be always the first pick, especially on Magic Arena where you don't get any, foils in the pack, so you can't have a double rare pack in a regular Lost Caverns of Ixalan draft. Alright, so we have here a Veto. Sometimes you can do the stuff with the sacrifice or permanent thing, but mainly this is a 4 mana 4/4 flyer. It's easy to gain the 2 life. Getting multiple sacrifices requires a little bit of a more effort, but I've been even able to get the 4/3 flyer sometimes with this thing. Well, I guess the one time I've been playing with this card, as you can see, I only have one copy of them. Alright, it's not the greatest thing to follow up the Sentinel with the best card, not counting the Veto, is the Waterwind Scout. I really like the Pickaxe. I could take the Frog because it's a great 2-drop and works with my first pick. I think I'm actually going to do that. I know this is a mythic rare, could be good for collecting the set, but I think at this point I'm already going to be completing the set, no problem with that. So I don't have to highly, prioritize picking mythic rares. I think that by the time I'm finished drafting this set, I will have enough mythic rares and packs to actually get to full completion without using the wild cards. And the reason I took the Frog is that even though this is not as good as, of course, the blue 2-drop, I really like the Sentinel. I want to be able to play it, and I wanted to keep myself on green here. The Frog is still a very good card regardless. Usually in pick 2 you will pick the best card in the pack, but this is not that much far behind the other options. So I'll take the Frog here and I will follow up with another Frog in here. It is better than the Final Strike. Maybe, I mean, when it's my Frog number 3 of my first Final Strike, I might take the Final Strike because it's also good with the Death Toucher this can be. But yeah, easy pick here. Let's keep drafting green, and there's not, I mean, I'm gonna take some other color card once I have a reason to do that. There's no reason to do that yet. I think the Kin Collar will be the pick here. Some other options are the Minecart, Plundering Pirate, the Wrestler. I have had some successful blue-green decks, and you have maybe witnessed that if you have been watching my videos, but it's still not the kind of color combination I'm willing to just straight jump to. I want to have the kind of rares and uncommons to make it worth drafting. So I don't think there's a reason to take any other card than the Kin Collar, which will be nice. I don't have any dinos yet, but it's easy to end up with some when you are drafting green. So this can get the 3 life. And it's not embarrassing even if you can't get the 3 life. It's a fair stated creature. Alright, so now it's gonna be the first non-green card. It's a fairly late yelling here. I'm taking that for sure. I'm just a little surprised it's still here. There's a bunch of blue here, although mostly the iceberg is really decent and this puzzle door is like okay, and this is not really very good. But yeah, easy yelling, it's actually the best card in the pack, so let's just move on here. Also, it is a dino for the Kin Collar. And here I have a Burning Sun Cavalry or a Poison Dart Frog number 3. There's an Abuela's Awakening. Not an amazing card, it's a card I would play in some white decks for sure, but it's not really a reason to go into white right now. But The cavalry might be better in a straight up green-red deck, but there's still a chance I'm not going to be red out at all, and I wouldn't mind having a third frog here. This also gives me some ramp options. I can take some more expensive cards. Yeah, I do like the cavalry in a red-green. I mean, it's the best color combination for this card, but here I'm just taking the frog. It's not uh, given that I'm gonna be red, although based on this pack it might just be because there's still a panicked Altisor, but the actual question is, am I gonna take a frog number 4 or the kin collar here? I think it's time to take the kin collar actually. I would be happy to take an Altisor with 3 frogs. It's, great play on turn 4 for sure, but I think I'm taking the dino here now. That gains me life. Yeah, let's take it. And okay, the first pack that's kind of a whiff, almost entirely. The Capybara is not the kind of card I'm looking to pick. I don't need any 2-drops here. Well, I do need, but it's pack 1, pick 8. I will be having opportunities to pick more 2-drops. So now what is the actual most likely card to see play here? I don't think the Ghost Stalker is really great. It's maybe playable mostly in a white-black deck, but even not that great in there. I think the Fanatical Offering might actually be the best pick, because if I am going to be black, this is the card I'm not sad about playing. Well, this was a consideration for pack 1, pick 1 if the rare wasn't there, and I'm getting that in addition to the armored kin collar. Well, I'm of course taking the Colossal Dactyl here with 3 frogs. That's a good way to play this on turn 3. I'm pretty happy about that pick coming back to me. Alright, Sunbird Standard, Might of the Ancestors, card draw. None of these cards is particularly likely to happen, but I guess this enables some kind of splash if I really want to have that. I'm gonna take these. There was the red 5-drop 2, but I don't think it's that great, or at least I will have opportunities to pick that card later in the draft. Here it's an easy final strike with these big creatures that have a decent amount of power already. I also have the triple frog here, which can give me a death touch bite, which is of course quite strong. Promising Vein if I want to have some splashes potentially, but there's a mine card. With the amount of 3-drops I have though, I don't need a mine card. I don't necessarily care about the treasures either. So I'm taking the Promising Vein, but I'm not gonna play it of course unless I actually have a idea to splash it. Here I think I take the Veteran over the Boulder. This is another 5-drop. It's nice to ramp into with the frogs. And I got the Burnings on Cavalry. Alright, I have only 2 red cards, but I mean, I don't think I'm gonna be that easily mono green, or that necessarily isn't even such a great idea to be. There's not really much payoff to being monocolor other than not having any color issues with your mono. But there's not like any triple green or quadruple green cards in the set even. Yeah, so of course the best card in the pack is the Sanguine Evangelist. And I could take it, but there's also Triumphant Jump, and I have 2 very good reasons to be red, green. So I think I will stick to that. Take the jump, it's the perfect continuation to what I've been drafting here. And I think this seems like a very decent deck if I get some more high quality cards passed to me. And I'm getting a decent rare. It's not like a bum rare, but especially later in the game, you can just ditch some extra lands you don't need to maybe get to play something better from the top of your deck. And the +1/+1 counter and trample can also matter just as a way to push some damage through. And don't forget about the trample. It can matter when you have like a 5-power dino that doesn't otherwise have trample. You can make it trample with this. Although I have a couple of big creatures that do naturally have trample, that's still no reason to pass this thing away. It's definitely gonna be better than the rumbling rock slide or something like a Cozy Scavenger. Also like the Charter Course, but I think I'm just gonna be straight up red green based on what I have been able to pick from until this point. So there's not really much reason to make things more difficult mana wise. And here I'm getting good options here. I like the Panicked Altisor, I like the Axejaw. The Axejaw in particular can be quite nice of 3-drop with the triple frog. And I think this can come back to me as pick number. Well, or maybe in some other pack I can get another Altisor. I would definitely play Altisor over the Veteran easily. But I think I'll take the Axe Jaw. Very nice turn 3 play with the... Well, it's also nice turn 4 play, but I have 3 frogs. That gives me a better chance to actually get those those more expensive cards ahead of curve on the battlefield. Right, here no need for the spider, no need for the guide. I have 3-drops already, a bunch of them, and there's the Altisor, which I'm gonna take. The Growing Rights of Itlimok is one of the less good ones. It's not totally unplayable, but it's also not very good. 3 mana to get a creature maybe, and then the land doesn't even give you that much. I mean, it gives you extra mana, but you might not even need it. So let's take the Altisor here. Sahelis Latisk, Lawkeeper, another Altisor. All these are options worth considering, and these 3 are the there's daring discovery in the presence of ages, bolder in my colors, but they are just not the cards to be picked here. I have 6 dinos out of 13 creatures. Now that gives me that gives the Lawkeeper some, this can do something, but I think I still prefer the Lattice because this is really good in a dino deck. It's basically a 2-for-1 in a later game, when the game goes longer. First you discard 1 to draw. Basically, well, I guess it's not actually a 2-for-1 because you have to play this card and discard a card to get 2 more cards, but you get some card quality at least, and you can dig deeper to your better cards. But and then later in the game, this will be turning into a creature as well. Alright, so here I'll take the... Or do I? Yeah, I think I'll take the Glimpse the Core. I don't sadly have any caves to make this like a good draw later in the game to get a cave back from the graveyard, but I might still be interested in having this more ramp. I don't think the Vandacliff or the Brawler are that great. Alright, let's take the Glimpse the Core in here, and then there's a Sunfire Torch, Clanten, and the Rock Slide, which are the good options here. I think I could take the small creature removal effect here because I don't really like the Rock Slide that much. I would play like 1 maybe, but I prefer the Sunfire Torch. It's also really good with the Death Touchers, This Torch doesn't deal the damage, it's the creature. And when the creature has Death Touch, aka activated frog, it can kill anything. And another jump, pick 8. Okay, well, it's an easy pick. Let's just move on. There was also the green-white land there. Here, I mean, you could use this as a desperate sideboard option. It's good against the guards. The black guard, for example, it's just amazing. They have to shuffle it there. And even though the Walk with the Ancestors and this thing are playable cards, I think I'll take this as a desperation sideboard card against some of the really annoying bums. Okay, I don't think I need another Veteran. Blowgun, Scavenger. Is this a kind of deck that can get to Descent 4? How many instant sorceries? I have some. It's not necessarily easy to go to Descent 4 here. And the Blowgun has some uses. I think I'll take the Blowgun here actually. I don't think I care about the Scavenger in this deck. Alright, I got another Altisor, which I will take over the other options, which are not that bad. I'm not a big fan of the 7-drop creatures, land cyclers, but I think I could play this card, especially with this amount of mana accelerating. Strider is good, but let's just take the Altisor, and that's a maybe sign to cut the Veteran already. Okay, Staggering Size will be good. Some of my guys already have Trample, but this is still a 2 mana +3/+3, and not all my guys have Trample, so this Trample can matter a lot. And there's a Lawkeeper, which I'm gonna take now over the other options. Let's see, the Dino count for now is 7. The Lawkeeper might be worth playing, but we'll see what happens in pack 3. I'm also already at 23 cards. Okay, let's take this. I don't think I'm gonna play this, but let's put it to the main deck for now. Another Brawler. Okay, well this is exactly the card I was thinking about when I was picking the Zoyova's Justice. This is just incredible. If your opponent plays this thing and you're not already winning by a mile, It's really tough to I mean, you can use regular removal to deal with this thing, but then they can get it back fairly easily, but of course it takes some time. Transforming the land makes this come, I mean, this will be tapped when they transform the land. But it's a really good card. I'm still taking the Squint here. Again, it's a mythic rare, but like I said earlier, it is. I'm not worried about the set completion anymore. I think I should get there. Its Squint is good, slightly better than the upgrade, I would say, in this deck, of course. So I'll take the Squint. Other than that, the upgrade would have been a very nice pickup as well. Alright, so there's a Plundering Pirate. This is not great. I don't care about this at all. This would be maybe playable in decks that actually care about descent stuff. Big descent numbers, descent 4, descent 8, and of course just descending. But it's not this deck. I don't care about the Tomb Raider in this deck. The decision is between the Hidden Volcano and the Plundering Pirate, and I'm interested in the Volcano for a couple of reasons. Them being that, first of all, I'm basically having enough playballs already, and I don't necessarily need the Pirate for anything. And I have the Glimpse the Core, which I might play, and it's good to have some caves for the deck to make it, have some additional value later in the game. And also just having caves in your deck in general is good. It's a form of flood protection. Now the Deep Phantom Echo is a card that's worth considering to be splashed. I even picked the Promising Vein earlier and the Sunbird Standard. It would be actually easy to splash it, but I don't think it's necessary now because the Scythe Claw, sorry, is it a Scythe Claw size? Scythe Claw Raptor is probably good enough to just be picked here over this. I don't need to make my mana any more risky. I do also have the triple frog, but I think I'll still just take the Raptor. There's also a chance to get it on turn 2 with the Lawkeeper if I end up playing the Lawkeeper. I'm not sure about that yet. Alright, frog number 4, I can take it. Let's go. That's the Tendril of the Mycah Tyrant. With many frogs it could be a card worth considering, but I still prefer the frog here. Synod Scout, Burning Sun Cavalry, Sunfire Torch, Staggering Size, and Hidden Nursery, all are totally reasonable options in here. I have some easy cuts here, but I also have a lot of good cards in here. I mean, fact is, I just have a deck that is pretty much ready here. And I already need to cut some good cards, so I'm gonna just take the Hidden Nursery here. I don't need to cut that, it's just a straight up increase of quality in the deck. Right, well, I don't need another veteran. The Runaway Boulder could be considered, but I prefer this in decks that actually care about descending also, so that makes the cycling a little bit better. Now it's just a 6 mana, deal 6, not great. I'll take the Captivating Cave more, value from the lands when I don't actually need any more spells in the deck. This is a card you could also consider splashing. It's a really good one, but I don't think I want to make my mana that much worse. Alright, I'll take the Kin Collar here over the Twists and Turns. Yeah, I don't think I care about that too much. And Glimpse the Core number. Alright. Do you think I got the open colors here? The pack 3, pick 8, and I still have a lot of options. I think the Walk with the Ancestors is quite decent when you have so many mana accelerants, but here I'll just take another gain 3 life thing. And I'm actually happy to get the Stomper too. I do want to play the 6-drop now, because I have the support for it. But yeah, the amount of cuts I'm gonna have to make here is gonna be huge. Here I can take the Boulder as a sideboard option if I need to get rid of something annoying. Another Final Strike is gonna be decent here, some more interaction here. And I got the Tendril of the Mycah Tyrant here. What? Oh man, this is the pack from which I think I took one of the hidden lands, but I don't know which is gonna be the pick. I'll just take the Cavalry, or maybe I the Staggering Size. Doesn't matter, all of those were, I could have taken all of them and they're all fine options to have. Maybe the Staggering Size though, I have. Well, forget about that, I got the last pick Staggering Size anyway. Okay, that was a crazy draft. I mean, that just was crazy. Maybe if I would have gotten something better here, I would have maybe liked to have maybe this Kin Collar could be another Axe Jaw. And maybe one of the veterans could be another Stomper, you know, just to make it a little bit even better deck. But I think I'm gonna cut the double veteran now, the blowgun, still 10 more cards, although I think this deck is gonna play 16 lands with the frogs in here. But the first question is, do I need the Lawkeeper? Remember, it doesn't do anything. There are 12 dinos though. It doesn't do anything for your, non-dino spells, which means all non-creature spells and all the creatures that are not dinos, but I'm still going to play. But there's actually not too many of them. Like the Sentinel is the only one that costs more than 2. It's actually true here. As you can see, all my creatures that cost 3 or more, apart from the Sentinel, are dinos. So the Lawkeeper matters for the things that it usually matters, like expensive spells. I don't really need to be able to have this thing make mana for my 2-drops. I usually can play my 2-drops just fine. Oh yeah, so this is a way to accelerate into these things, but I have 4 frogs and I think that the frogs are just better because they add to any card, but also not only that, but they have reach and the ability to give them death touch. This can actually block those annoying flyers that some blue-white deck can have and just trade with them, by activating the 2 mana ability. Also with the double final strike, the death touch will be quite valuable. So actually I'm going to, this is the kind of deck that would play a Lawkeeper, but because I have 4 of these frogs and I'm going to play, I think, all of them. At least if I'm going to cut anything from the group of frogs and Lawkeepers, the first cut is going to be the Lawkeeper because it's not as flexible as the frogs. I don't need to play a turn 1 Lawkeeper as good as it would be to play like a turn 2 Kincaller or the Scytheclaw Raptor. I mean, it would be good, yes, but do I need to be does it need to be that great? I mean, it's still both of these are fine plays on turn 3. Yeah, I think it's because I have to make so many cuts. I'm gonna just cut it. Also, I'm going to cut probably the Glimpse Core in the end because I have the frogs in here. I don't need any spell that gives me just a land. Frog has some other uses too. Tendril of the Mica Turret. So let's see, 1, 2, 3. Well, let's maybe see it like this. Come on. Okay, let's cut the brawlers. That's the easy 2-drop cut to make. And I'm gonna actually just look at this mana curve. This is not gonna be often a turn 2 play. I will have other options. So this will be kind of a 4-drop. Because I have so few 4-drops. So I can just consider this being a 4-drop in this deck. And the lattice gain minus Sahelis. Now I have these are my 2-drop actual creatures. 3, 4, that's 9. Okay. Well, I don't want to play 9. I mean, I don't have anything against playing 9 2-drops, but it's just a little bit unnecessary to play that many because I'm not going to play 11 lands, so I need to cut something, and I'd much rather cut some of the 2s than any of the more expensive cards. Do I want to play Staggering Size as 2 copies? It's now that I got the Cavern Stomper, it's actually gonna be significantly better. This doesn't have trample. It has a clumsy form of evasion. Yeah, making this into a 10-10 trampler can just finish the game in one swing. Also, it's good with the Altisor, which can become 7 power tramplers, and the Axjaw, which can be a 7 or 8 power trampler. And it's no joke with these 3 power creatures either. Yeah, I actually like the double staggering size. But although, how many creatures non-creatures I'm gonna cut here? This is 8 non-creatures. Let's say I'm gonna play 16 lands. Yeah, I could cut 5 creatures and that would be 24 cards and that's it. But it's gonna be hard to make the cuts here. It really is. I don't think I wanna cut the 1 6-drop or the 2 5-drops. Nor the 4-drops. These are locked in the main deck. I could see sideboarding out the Stomper in some fast matchups, but against an unknown opponent, I'd rather have the access to the 6-drop thing here. So, as crazy as it might sound, I think the Kincaller number 4 is gonna be cut. This is 6 3-drops. It's like a little bit You know, it's a lot. And I just like the Raptor more, and the Sentinel, of course, I like more than the King Collar. So if I'm gonna cut the 3-drop, I'm gonna cut this thing. I'm gonna cut the Micro Tyrant thing. And I think I'm gonna cut one of the frogs. I mean, the Burning Sun Cavalry is almost guaranteed to be a, well, it's not guaranteed, but it's gonna often be a 3-3 for 2. I still need 2 more cuts. I'm actually thinking about cutting the Torch, even though it is good with the frogs. But I have a couple of these jumps for small creature removal. They have final strikes. I think the Torch is the the other things in here. They are not so clumsy. The Torch needs equipping and attacking. Usually not a problem given how cheap it is to do. And the +1/+0 equipment part can also matter. You don't always have to sack it immediately. But I think I still prefer cutting that, and I still need to cut one more. So this is now 7 2-mana plays, couple of 1-mana removal spells. I think I want to keep those 2-mana plays. Yeah, I do want to keep them. And I think running 3 frogs and 2 burnings and cavalries is better than running 1 cavalry and 4 frogs. Because I'm not going to cut yet the yelling or the inti. These are, the best 2-drops here. So if I want to cut some 2-drops, it's going to be a selection selected from the burnings and cavalries and the frogs. And I chose the 4th frog to be cut. And I think the final cut is going to be the final strike, as its name suggests, I suppose. Because I want to keep a good mana curve. And yes, this is interaction, but I still have the couple of jumps, couple of staggering sizes, and sometimes this is also a way to kill things. But you also don't necessarily need to have interaction when you can just curve out with efficient creatures and win by attacking. And I can sideboard in stuff like the final strike, of course. Yeah, I think this is the deck. I mean, I will put the lands, of course. But things if I, for example, let's say I need to put more interaction, I could see putting the Torch in, I could see putting the second copy of the Huatlis Final Strike in, and I could see cutting like a Cavern Stomper, and then I could still cut like one of the Keen Collars or like the Burning Sun Cavalry. These are cards I can cut, but from the perspective of what to run in the main deck, I want to maximize the number of my creatures. That allows me to have the best curve outs, and that's a way to win, especially if your creatures are so large. You can just play creatures on every turn and keep attacking and ideally having bigger creatures than your opponents, and just win that way. Removal might not be that necessary, and I prefer the staggering sizes over the actual removal effects. So this is the main deck. Let's put the lands in. Also the Captivating Cave, it's some, flood protection. Because I have still the 3 frogs in here, which tap for any color of mana, I think I can afford to play a Captivating Cave. My only only 2 double casters in the deck are the Colossus Dactyl and the 6-drop, and it's not gonna be that, meaningful for the 6-drop. The colorless mana producing land. I should have 2 green. This, I could see having a turn 4 where I have like 2 mountains, the Captivating Cave and the forest, and then I couldn't cast it. But it's still not gonna be that likely. I will have an extra forest also in the deck because I will have 13 basics to add, so it's gonna be not there. So just here and cut a mountain, and that's it. That's only 7 red sources for turn 2 red play, which I still have here. All the jump. I guess the jump I can play on turn 2 with the Captivating Cave. Of course I can. Well, because the other option is to just cut the cave and put a mountain in its place. Well, with the triple frogs, this also allows me to play some red spells. Yeah, the 7 is fine enough, and the Captivating Cave also can, add red for these cheap red spells, you know. Maybe I have to sometimes play an Inti on turn 3 because I have a forest captivating cave. But yeah, I mean, I like the blue 2+1/+1 counters here. I'll keep the utility in this case. I usually don't play these in 2-color decks, but with triple frog, I shouldn't have that much trouble with colored mana. So let's just do this, and that is the main deck. Okay, let's mulligan this one lander and have a nice 2-lander, but what to cut? It would be awkward to cut a 6-drop with double frog, but if I cut a frog, it's slightly awkward to keep a 6-drop in here. This explore will help me get there though. Okay, I'm gonna cut one of the frogs because I'm more. I mean, if I flood out, that will be at least more annoying than just, you know, not hitting all my land drops immediately. Okay, that is actually just great because I can play the tapped land while still can play this here, and I will show them the axe just to gain the 3. You never know if it's gonna matter. Them having information about the axe is probably not gonna allow them to make any better choice. Right. Okay. Well, I got the land, so I'm gonna jump this thing. I don't. They might, you know, care about milling stuff, and if I draw a land on the next turn, well, I will have explore too. Well, let's explore first. I will leave. Well, I can leave, of course, this thing up. It can tap for green, red. If this is a land, my next turn play will be the Cavern Stomper if the frog survives. Alright, so now, because I won't be using the jump on the next turn. The thing is that the Phantom isn't actually a problem stat-wise. It might help them with the descent stuff, but I guess the reasonable thing here to do is to not use the jump yet. I don't care about taking 2 damage at all. I just hope that I don't enable their descent shenanigans. Okay, they actually leave that to block. Well, that is fine. Well, I don't think they are going to actually kill the frog like mid-combat. I don't have any instants, but I also don't want to show them the Cavern Stomper. So I'm not playing the Stomper pre-combat. The only way that I get punished is that they actually, you know, kill the frog before my second main, which is very unlikely. And even in that case, I can just play the mountain and no, I actually can't. I can't crack the volcano. But yeah, let's. I don't want to give them the information. I think they have like a removal spell of some kind, which is fine. They are of course missing their second color of mana. Okay, so I don't know why they left this thing to block. Maybe they didn't want to take the damage from the frog or something. And now I can just scry 2. This scry 2 is very nice because I can just ignore any lands on my top of my deck. Alright, well, I'm gonna keep those. Yep. Still no second color, or they are actually mono black. Canonized in blood. Alright, so now they can attack, and if they melee. Okay, it's not -10, -10. Okay, the opponent just made a total mistake there. Yeah, concession is the only continuation there. So for some reason they thought this is like a murder, which based on its mana cost it could be, but it's not actually gonna destroy anything. It's just giving -5, -5, or -10, -10, but I don't know what they were thinking. I guess they were still losing here, because if they had no proper way to deal with the 7/7, there was a 2-turn clock, unless they start jumping, given that I have the Itch Quint here. It was just a pretty much game over. Alright, so they have a couple of Join the Dead, but I have a couple of pump spells that may help me to have my guy survive. It will still be -2, -2, but still. Alright, so do I want to play the Torch now that I saw the Phantom, which, you know, can be annoying if they can do some descending. I'm not too worried about the Canonized in blood, though. I don't need the frog. I don't think I need the king caller. The stomper seems still good, I would say. I saw so few cards from them. I actually saw 4 cards. 2 of the removals, then the canonized thing, and the 3 mana 2/2. I don't think I'm in a position to make any adjustment. I just like this deck too much. There's no strong reason to play the torch. If I see more good targets for it, then yes, assuming it goes to game 3. No early drops, but I guess I have a turn 4 and turn 5 plays unless they have discard effects, which, black can have in this format. Well, I'm gonna keep it. Hope to get a 3-drop at least by turn 3. I mean, there's a good chance to get play. Basically, if I draw a spell, it's most likely to be able to cast for quite cheap. And there is one. And now it's fine. I have a turn 2 play, so I'm not totally falling behind here. Unless they play something crazy like a good rare. That's not a crazy good rare. No reason to bluff an attack. They will double block and then I just trade with the freebooter and feel like a fool. This is a good blocker on some of my early drops. I might consider some sideboarding if they have more of these kind of high toughness things. The Burning Sun Cavalry doesn't do much here, but okay, are they going to start pumping this guy by sacrificing the... Yeah, they are actually gonna do it. Well, I'm gonna block here. They can attack with this thing anyway. There's no reason to take the 1 damage. Okay, so they choose not to sack it for the drain. Basically, they lost this for... Is there something they can kill this now that it has taken the point of damage? I guess they just wanted to have this untapped. Okay. Well, no problem here. Let's just keep playing our stuff here. Yep, jump is good. I need to be a little bit careful because the jump doesn't kill either of these things without having the dino to actually enhance the damage. So if they have some kind of a response to kill the Axejaw. Well, I guess I saw 2 of those -5/-5 spells, but they are 3 mana. And next turn I can just play the Altisor. I think that is the better thing to do. That said, I can still play the Kincaller and the jump if I choose that. If it seems like it's the best thing to do. Alright, so now it's a pretty safe double block. Because even if they have like the +2/+0 and it returns if it dies, it's not going to kill both of my guys. And this cavalry is going to get +3/+3 once I declare it as a blocker while controlling this. So even if they respond to this +1/+1 ability by killing the Axejaw, this will still get to 3/3 and trade with the Skull Taker. So I'm gonna... Of course I would be happy to trade with the cavalry here, and that's gonna happen if they have nothing. And if they have something, I don't think I can get punished too much. Maybe they think it's not gonna work, but it's gonna still become a 3/3. That's how the trigger is worded. There's no risk. That was a good trade for me. The Goblin can be quite annoying if it picks up a few counters. Alright, so here I'm gonna go for the Altisor. Let's hope they don't have another one of these. I would rather, maybe just kill the Aclasot's thing. It also is a good blocker on the Kincaller. But they might have some better targets for it too. Okay, they are almost tapped out. They have 1 treasure left, so don't think they can, with 1 treasure, do anything here. It actually seems like I'm getting a little bit flooded, but that's the power of the caves, I can crack those if I run out of spells to cast. Now, I could start the race here. I kind of don't want them to mill stuff, but I think it's still worth raising it. Now, that said, maybe it's better to leave the Altisar to block. It has reach, so it can block the Phantom, and it can still tap for damage. It's not easy. I mean, I have the 3/3. It's just this is my only removal spell. I kinda don't want to lose it on a thing that doesn't matter. But this could matter in the long game. They are now almost tapped out. The thing is about this is that it's a risky play if they have mana. You know, they could have another one of these Join the Dead. So I'm gonna actually just get rid of the Aclosats. I think it's the better thing to kill, you know, over their Phantom here. They can actually make another mana with this freebooter, but I think with 2 mana. Okay, but there's actually 1 card in the format that could have worked. There's a 2 mana uncommon that kills a creature. Now, if they didn't have the freebooter, I would attack. But now they can just jump. They are decent. They are at Descent 3 anyway. Fine, let's attack here. Because I would rather trade for 2 than just deal 2 to them. I don't care about my own life total. Okay, I didn't get punished yet by using this jump on the 1/4. But also, they have mana to sack the freebooter and make this into a 4/4, which I don't like. Anyway, I'm gonna crack one of the hidden volcanoes. Or hidden lands, I mean. Yep. Let's see what I got. That's an Inti. Now, that's gonna be good with the lands I have, but I don't think I'm going to do it this turn yet. I mean, I can't just throw away a land. I might still reveal a land so I can get pay, because when you attack with a creature, you can discard a card to give a +1/+1 and trample to a creature. Yeah, I guess I can ditch one of the lands. And it's possible I will, you know, exile a land from top of my deck, and then I can play that land. Because I'm gonna make the Kincaller into a 4/4 so that they can't block with the Inquisitor. Because what they can do, they can block with the Inquisitor, use this to create mana, sack the freebooter. Although they can actually create another mana with the treasure token here and sack the Phantom with that mana to make this a 5/5. Huh. That's actually true. Now then they would lose the Phantom though. I'm still gonna play around that possibility, and I'm going to discard a forest here, I guess. Make this into a 5/6, so now they can't, you know, kill this Altisor. And even if they choose to jump block with the freebooter, this thing has now trample, so damage will be dealt. And look at this luck I'm having. I got a playable land, so I didn't even lose a card by using the ability, and this is even a very good one. Much better than a basic land at this stage of the game. Okay, now they are top decking. They can attack, of course, with the Phantom, but they... Oh, that's a good one. Alright, so the thing is, they can make the Inquisitor into a very large thing, but I have a +3/+3 here. They can sack the treasure. This gives another treasure. They have mana for 3 sacks easily, and then if they sack this, that's an additional mana. So I guess they can make this like a 7/7 at least. So maybe attacking with the Kincaller isn't the greatest. I'm just going to attack with the Altisor and see how they're gonna do. It's very easy with the staggering size now. Yeah, the Inquisitor can be a little annoying. Okay, there's a spell I can play even if I use the staggering size here. But they, of course, I understand that they are not gonna risk it, sack all their board just to make this bigger. Now I can play the Kincaller and the Frog. Yeah, this was pretty easy now. I mean, the opponent seems to be playing mono black, and it's, of course, you know, you see from the card quality. I mean, these are not necessarily bad cards in the certain kind of decks, but I'm not sure if they are gonna be that great in the mono black deck. They gotta Join the Dead, which is now Descent 4, so they can kill the Altisor. It's -10, -10. But now they also barely have any mana. They have the treasure token here, so the Vito's Inquisitor isn't that scary now. I can basically... Oh, wow, look at this. They chose to kill the rare 2-drop, which is not as impactful as the Altisor. Wow. Well, with the trample from the staggering size, this will be a game over. This 9 power trample, and I can attack with everything. Yep. The Inquisitor can be quite good in like the white-black archetype that has Tinker's Toads and stuff like that. You know, this thing can really matter. Make combat hard for the opponent. Alright. That's 2 damage to me. I'm not going to block that with the frog. Now I can just attack with pretty much everything. I can also do that. I mean, guess I can do it all. Why not? I had, you know, better draws than I actually needed in here. I think this is a win even without the staggering size in here, because they can block the 6-drop, 6 power and 3 power and take 6 damage. They go down to -1. Alright. An easy match for sure, but also showcased how you know, explosive this deck can be. Or maybe explosive is the wrong word, but because it's not like 1-drop, 2-drop insanity, but can play some impactful plays and make combat hard for the opponent. Another 1-lander. Well, I'm not keeping it. Hard mode. Well, let's go to 5 then. I mean, this deck is good enough that I can win from 5, and it's not even... This hand isn't that great even if I draw a land immediately. There's nothing I can play with the poison dart frog, you know, burning sun cavalry, turn 3, the pump spells. Yeah, let's go to 5. And still a bad one, because I need one of these to produce red, but I'm not gonna go to 4. Cut a forest, and I guess cut a cavern stomper, and this is the... I just need to draw a red producing land, but this seems to be a non-game. Just mulliganing. Okay, well, I got that thing. Here it is worth playing the Burning Sun Cavalry first, because this actually attacks as a 3-3 with the yelling. This is a 3-2, so they can't kill this. I mean, they can be like a 3-1 or something, but... but yeah, it's better to play it in this order. Now, with the, I mean, I drew the lands in the mountain here, so next turn I can play its queen. Maybe kill that 3-drop and attack for 8 damage. They go to 9. That's you know, this deck can... Of course, the opponent hasn't done anything yet, and now they sadly have a Tithing Blade. The thing about this is that this has like more toughness, but this is allowing me to deal 3 with the H-Queen. So I'm gonna sack this guy. Sahel's Lattice isn't bad. I'm going to ditch the forest here. I'm gonna draw 2 new cards. If I'm gonna draw just 2 spells, I hope they are not 4 and 5 drops. Or the 6-drop. Come on. Okay, this is totally fine. And let's hope they don't have more kill spells. I want them to play creatures that I can kill with the H-Queen still. But of course, now that they had the Tithing Blade, I'm, you know, not that happy about my curve out, because I had the potential to be really pushing damage through if they played a creature on the previous turn. But this is still fine. I can kill that thing. And pay for that. This can deal damage here, and no, I'm not gonna make this into 2 power. Decline this. Attack for 5. Okay, they didn't actually get a K with this thing. They only got a basic land. Well, They definitely have more cards than I, but I have the tempo. Now, if they play something like a 4-4, equivalent of a 4-4, I of course have no really good way to push through unless I draw some specific cards. Or if they keep getting removal. Although that's their entire turn. They get a scry to bottom there. And there is the staggering size, by the way. Very nice. Sadly that thing exiled, so I can't use the Sahelis Lattice with that. But there's still a chance. Okay, I'm very close here. It really depends on if they just keep having interaction, killing my things rather than playing creatures of their own, because they haven't yet done that. Oh well, no, they had the Surveyor, of course. That's why I got to play this with value. All right, mill 2 play a thing. I mean, if they now are they're gonna get this. Well, they get to pick two things. So they the Spike Tail and the Nautilus, or the. Well, we'll see. With the staggering size, I can actually still beat them. So they took the Nautilus, which I don't like here. I would have preferred them to tap out for the Scampering Surveyor. Oh, they even had that. Well, it's not the end of the world. Unless they have a land drop, because if they can play both of these, then they have a lot of toughness and the staggering size won't matter. I have only a 3-4 here coming up. I think it's still better. You know, Death Touch and Trample is great, but they have 5 life, not, 3 life. If I can make this into a 4-power Death Touch Trampler, it would trample 3, and I can make it, but it would only be 3 trampled over. So I think it's better to use my mana to craft this thing right now. And still have like a... And yeah, I know I could use I could exile each queen to make it into a 5-4, but I prefer to have the 2 different creatures. I hope they have no land drop and they just play the Spike Tail and have no other play. Then I of course just win. But they could also have a 1 mana -2/-0 effect. But here I am mulliganing to 5 and still almost winning, but they have the Nautilus now. So that's bad because it has 4 toughness. The trample isn't gonna matter too much. This is a bit of a clumsy removal, but it's good stuff for them. Yeah, they're gonna be able to play the Spike Tail, and then they have a... Well, I mean, there's no point attacking with these and using the staggering size. I mean, I can attack because there's no reason not to do that. They're not... I mean, maybe they don't block and I win, but that's not ever gonna happen. So if this gets me a land, I still play the Frog, which is fine. If I get a spell, well, I can choose to mill it or keep it. Okay, that's fine. I guess if it was a tapped land, that would have been the worst. So if they are gonna have to take one of these through... Yeah, I don't like the fact this thing has so much toughness. Maybe I can draw my other staggering size. Maybe I can draw my other staggering size. Okay, they didn't leave Bulumona open. Okay, so let's see. If I do this, am I gonna win? No. If I'm gonna trade here, I mean... Oh, it has the indestructible list. There's no trade gonna happen. Alright, so now it's exciting. Because... if I attack with everything... Yeah, if they left an island open, I would have been afraid of the -2/-0 flash creature, but that's not the case now. And I might have still needed to play, into that thing. I don't have that luxury here. So if I attack with everything and they block everything but the Frog, of course they're not gonna block the Death Toucher. I guess the Spike Tail blocks the Axe Jaw and then my Axe Jaw will survive. And I can still play the Kincaller, because Axe Jaw will be a 7/6 and it will survive. Yeah, there's no reason not to do this. They won't die and they will have the Nautilus here. Oh, well, that's just it. Thank you, opponent. I hope there's nothing with 1 black. Mulligan to 5. And I finished the game with 20 life points myself. Well, the opponent had mostly played removal on my things. The Ray of Ruin is, deals with everything, but it is quite clumsy as 5 mana. They also have another chance. If I can curve out with a 7 card hand, I might be able to build a board presence just like I did, and I kind of overwhelm them before they can do their own things. But I think Blade, I need to keep that in mind. I should maybe consider adding. Well, no, I have enough cheap things in here, but I could consider not playing the Final Strike, although the Final Strike can it can clear the way of this annoying Nautilus, for instance. I guess the blowgun isn't bad because I can just have one of my attackers have death touch always, so the high toughness creatures wouldn't matter in that case. That is a card worth considering. I think I'm going to cut one of the cavalries, despite I don't want to cut that many cheap cards because I don't want the Tithing Blade to catch anything, too expensive. But I think I still can do it. This is 18 creatures deck. I can cut a creature to maybe play the blowgun, which I think I like based on what I saw. So if I cut one of them, play the blowgun, just to have a good attack always, not care about their high toughness things. And then I still could cut like one removal spell to have another creature, maybe like one of the bigger creatures, because if the games go late, the veteran can matter a bit more. But I like the Final Strike here though. Actually, I'm gonna keep it like this for now, but I will observe what they are playing in this game too, and if I lose, because I could see if they have a lot of removal, then the more removal one or both of the players have, the more likely it is that the games go late, and then it's better to play more expensive cards that have bigger impact. But I'm getting these one landers a lot here. It's a 16 land deck. I mean, even if I knew there was a land on the top of my deck, it wouldn't be that great because I have the 5-drop and a 6-drop here. Let's mulligan again. Okay, oh fine, I'll keep these. Maybe I can actually play the Sentinel for the first time here. Based on what I saw, I don't think the Chomps have a good target, so it's an easy the card to ditch here. This won't be a turn 3 play unless I find an actual forest. This can only help cast it when I have 4 mana. I have this thing and I can just, assuming this gets to attack, I can, discard something to hope to get a land. We'll see if they have a dead weight or something. No, they had that thing. So now just draw a forest, please. Come on. No. So Lattice is gonna ditch now either the staggering size or the Chomp. The Chomp will be 4 damage with the Altusor. But most of the removal they had, I guess there was the -5, but there was also a bunch of sorcery speed removal. The staggering size can really matter. I'm gonna actually ditch the Chomp here. Oh, look at no lands. Wow, that game is really trying to make me not get the win here with the mulligan to 5. And this is exactly the kind of stuff, I would be able to punish normally. They're gonna play like a 3 mana draw 2. At least I got this thing now. I know I could have played the Sentinel, but I think I want to test the waters with this thing now. And maybe on the next turn, if I draw another untapped land, I can play the Sentinel. And yeah, they have now their 5-drop removal. They can. There's no problem using them because I missed some land drops here. But that's why I had that thing as sort of a bait here. Maybe this will survive now, and also can immediately explore, which can matter here. Well, definitely will. Better than to not explore. Well, I'm not gonna keep the staggering size in my hand that they know about. Also, I do want to get the 5th mana. And they don't know about this, so that can be actually beneficial to me. Jimil, alright, so do I have any artifact removal in the sideboard? I don't think I did, so this is now... This is gonna be hard for me to win now, but because they're gonna get a free spell every turn. So yeah, they had the time to do all that, and they can even at 20 life jump block because they are gonna win the very late. They're gonna win any game that goes long. But I try to build a good board presence. I hope that they don't hit, very expensive cards in here. Like hopefully only like a 2-drop or something. Echo of Dusk. Well, it's gonna become a life linker, but okay, another Tithing Blade. Yeah. Oh, they chose not to cast it for free. What does that mean? Why wouldn't they cast it? I mean, I don't understand. Was that a misclick? It's possible it was a misclick. It's also possible they have in their hand, the... No, they have only... I mean, there's the rat effect. There's a rat effect that, counts the... number of permanents. Doesn't X rat. Well, they have Descent 4 right now. That would be a reason to not cast this, because they're gonna rat the board anyway. But I mean, I don't have the luxury to play around that, because they have an active Chimil, and there's just no way I can beat them if the game goes any longer. I mean, I need to win as quickly as possible. Okay, that explains a lot. Bringer of the Last Gift. So yeah, I got one, because this, everything dies on the battlefield, and then everything that didn't die returns from the graveyard. So the cards that were in the graveyard before the stuff dies. Yeah, I mean, of course, this is just they get a Zodiac Clip from the Jimil now. All right, let's go to game 3 so that I will be on the play, but hopefully can keep a good 7-card hand. Now with multiple Tithing Blades, I think I'm going to play now the Burning Sun Cavalry and also the Lawkeeper. This is a great card to that can help me win even faster, and also to sack for the Tithing Blade. And I can forget about the blowgun. I can also... I kind of just want to play more creatures, and maybe the Cavern Stomper isn't even the kind of creature I want to play. They have the sorcery removal on this thing, so I'm going to cut that. And I'm still feeling like putting even more creatures, like maybe just a Kincaller here. They had some defensive plays. The one for cheap card is the most annoying one, because it blocks like these 3 trees. And I don't have any way to destroy an artifact. And I'm not gonna Joyov's Justice the Chimil. There's no way. So maybe I can just ship the deck like this. I could see not playing 2 of the jumps. I mean, what creatures am I gonna jump? I have bigger creatures than the Echo of Dusk. And yeah, I have many big creatures myself, so that the jump deals more than 2. But then again, I have a lot of... Yeah, maybe there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dinos. I really... I think I maybe should... how do I win this game? If I cut one of the jumps, what would I be even replacing? What would I replace it with? I mean, I could see playing the Kincaller and the Final Strike, but is either of them gonna be better than the jump? This is 18 creatures. I shouldn't have a shortage of creatures. I'm still doing this. Let's play the Kincaller number 4. I just want to play creatures here every turn and win before they get to their very expensive ways to stabilize, and they will win any game that goes very long. Now, come on. Starting hand, keepable. It is 16 lands. Why again a 1-lander? I mean, in this hand you can actually... any of these 6 spells, replace it with a forest, and it's a playable hand. It would still need more lands if the proc was replaced by a forest, but still. Okay, mulligan to 6. Okay, at least this is something I can do, and as much as I like the lattice, I don't want to discard any of these cards right now. This would be good if I keep hitting lands and not spells, but I guess I have these to use. Yeah, I'm gonna get rid of the lattice and just, like I said, curve out with creatures every turn and hope that they don't have a double Tithing Blade here. I don't know how many they have in the deck, those things, but it seems they might have a lot. Well, I don't have a shortage of 3/3s here. Hope now my next hope is that they don't have the 1/4, as that would be annoying. Or another Tithing Blade, to be fair. I do want to start attacking for damage. I won't be, you know, I'm gonna get so much life that raising is not. I mean, I'm the one who's gonna raise against their, you know, late game effects. I'm not caring about taking damage. That was a good draw, though. Okay, that's gonna accelerate and allows them to trade here. At least the Echo of Dusk cannot efficiently block here right now. Okay, staggering size. Okay, I'm going to just use it right now. I think the problem with that is if they have the 5/6 on the next turn. But I have a good curve here. I can just play the. I mean, I can play this and then the Inti on the next turn. But if they have the 6/5, it's really annoying. It's really annoying if they have the 6/5. Oof. I'm actually going to now play around it. I'm gonna just play this thing and because I don't want to get brickwalled by the 6/5. Saving one of the kin callers is not that necessary. I know it would have been a bunch of trample damage. It would have been 6 power trample against 2 toughness. So yeah, it would have been 4 damage. They would be at 10 and I would have still 2 kin callers and into here. But I really would have hated to see the 5/6 come down. Okay, so now the Echo of Dusk will soon be a life gainer. I'm not going to discard the forest yet because I want to have the land for the Captivating Cave. So again, I guess now I have to. I don't like the fact that they're gonna start getting life from the Echo of Dusk. But it's not like I can't attack. I mean, I must. It's not like I can't. Okay, whatever. Point is, I need to keep dealing damage to them. And now that because I have no really good way of using my mana, it's better now to do this. But I would like this much more if they weren't able to gain 3 life. But it is what it is. It is what it is. They go back to 11, and if they have the 6/5, they go actually to 13, because it will boost this Echo of Dusk now. Given how this game went, I mean, even if I had a starting 7, you know, I mulliganed only to 6, so if I had 1 extra card, maybe it wouldn't even matter. They have gotten the interaction they needed. Oh, by the way, the bringer of the last gift is in the graveyard, but they can still get it back, of course, with the thing. Okay, well, that was a heck of a lucky draw. The problem here is that they played no spell there. I mean, that's actually... this is actually worse than that they would just play the attack with the Echo of Dusk and then play something, because of course they have instant speed interaction now. So I can't use my Captivating Cave. I'm not going to use this because I'm not discarding the staggering size. The only thing I can do here is just to offer a trade. Okay, that's eaten by Piranha. Okay, that's actually fine. But that's not the only thing they have. Okay, it seems like they might actually not have a spell. Okay, I'm gonna go for it. Please work. It seems like they have. Okay. This is Magic Arena thing again. You know, I was able to quest that based on how they got the priority. They didn't get any priority there. Now, do they have another bringer? Ghost Stalker. Okay. Well, they have to sack the Ghost Stalker, so it's not the end of the world. And I have now... I mean... I'm gonna go for it. This is a victory if they have nothing. Alright. Well... oh boy. That was a weird patch. Of course, me having all those mulligans didn't make it easier. But 4 total mulligans and I still won 2 out of the 3 games. A starting 7 that I can keep. Now this is 2 playable spells with any land, a third one. Yeah. Still not the optimal starting hand. I need to, you know, draw a specific thing to make this actually good. Same thing applies here. I try to take the cavalry and trade it with something. I can play the yelling, or if I'm lucky, the raptor on the next turn. Pit of Offerings is gonna only now tap for colorless. Okay, that's that. Now I drew a couple of green cards into this hand with no green mana, so I need at least a mountain. Okay, they can kill the yelling, but that doesn't really matter if I draw the mountain. I mean, at least a mountain or ideally forest. Yeah, well, this seems to be the story of this event. Difficulties with mana, but then again, I have 2 match wins out of 2 matches, so I mean, all is good. Child of the Volcano, right. Well, I got this thing now and I can attack for 3 still. This thing picks counters if they descend. I'm really happy if they block, which they do. Okay. All I need is a forest at some point and then I can, you know, over a course of a few turns, just empty my hand. But yeah, okay, let's start with this, and one of the frogs is unnecessary now. I just need the green mana in the first place. Well, sadly the jump isn't good enough yet to kill the Altisor. Alright, so in top 7 cards there was none of my 9 ways to get green mana, because I have 7 forests, I have 1 cave, and then the 1 other cave that can tap for green if I pay an extra mana. So that's 9 ways. None of them has been appearing in the top 14 cards of the deck, and yeah, this is the kind of stuff you get to... I mean, I'm so behind here now. That said, I have the cards to still... to, you know, be able to maybe survive. But I'm gonna have to get this into a 5 power creature so that the jump will work. I guess with the staggering size, well, but no, that's a little bit awkward because jump is not an instant. Okay, that's good. And I think it's good enough to keep. Next turn I will need to use a jump. Of course, I'm hoping this will survive. If this gets killed, I'm gonna be dead. Because the thing is, I can't actually block these guys. I have to take 10 here. So if I'm gonna draw this, then I'm not going to draw a land. I guess I can play the Kin Cholera and a jump and leave this in my hand as a... Actually, I can just use this to... Yeah, with the axe jaw. Yeah. I mean, I kind of forgot that. It's really good with the axe jaw. Alright, so I take 10. That's what I have to do. I have 6 life gain in my hand. Do I die immediately? I did not die yet. Can they add even more? Okay, they added a 7/7. Okay, I need to double block that guy, which I actually can do. They get the Scry 2, which I don't like. 2 on top even. Okay, that's bad. Now, because I'm only at 4, I actually can't use the It's Quint here. The reason being that if I use this to kill the Trampler, I still have to block. Yeah, the problem is I need the Axe Jaw to block the Altasaur. They can even attack with the sunlight. They also kept 2 on top, so I don't really like my chances. But I think the better thing to do here is to kill the Trampler and play the Kincaller. I need a 3 life also. So now I can double block the Stomper. And still trade with the Altasaur. But of course whatever they're drawing is gonna be a significant thing here. It's very unlikely that I'm gonna have a good outcome here. Oh, they didn't attack with the Altasaur at all. I mean, whatever, I'm gonna triple block. This is gonna be 12 damage, 1 pump spell won't save it. So they have to have 2 things here now. They can eat the Kincaller and the Raptor, but it's actually not even... Oh, first strike. Okay. Okay. Yeah. That is the one trick that actually helps there. I was only thinking about the staggering size. Well, that's a shame. I think I kind of had a chance here. I had a chance here, but no longer. Because now this will be a 7. They can actually craft this with the treasure they have on the battlefield, and they still have a card on top of the deck that they like to have there. At least I get to see it. Paleontology. Yeah, that's a really good one because they can recast their dead dinos with that thing. So now I'm gonna go down to 5 with the activity ability. Staggering size can kind of help. But the problem is they can activate the Stomper. Yeah, I don't have the mana to play the Kincaller and the staggering size. If I play the Burning Sun Cavalry, even though this becomes a 3-3 when it blocks with the Kincaller, the problem is they can activate these and I don't even get the opportunity to block with it. I think the game is over now. I don't have here good plays. So, I mean, let's try to not have a non-game, shall we? I mean, in terms of, starting hand and curving out. I'm not even splashing anything. It's so weird that so many starting hands have been awkward. Now, what I saw here is this is a must kill. So I'm going to, in addition to the jump, I'm going to play the Sunfire Torch. And I don't think I'm going to need like what don't I need? Maybe the frog. They have these big things. Yeah, the thing with the torch is that there's not that many things. It kills this guy, and yeah, I suppose the Seeker of Sunlight. But not many of the other things, and the +1/+0 barely matters. So rather than play the torch, I should play the other final strike. Also with the Death Touchers, it's gonna help against all the big things I saw. Now that's what I'm gonna do. And the other thing I'm gonna do is cut like a low impact card. I don't really have a low impact cards, but I mean, I guess this Burning Sun Cavalry is the least interesting one. I will still play the Lattice, I like it quite a bit. Triple Frog. Yeah, I guess with the double Whatless Final Strike it makes sense. This can also, block things and just trade with them. Okay, I'm gonna cut one of the Burning Sun Cavalries. And this is now the deck. And as you can see, 9 ways to get green mana. It took like almost 16, 17 cards to find one. Alright, let's again see what kind of a starting hand can I have. Is it gonna be a 7 card hand with either like 3 lands One of each at least. Okay, the only thing I'm missing is a 2-drop creature, but this is of course a fantastic hand compared to what I've been having earlier. And there's I mean, I can still draw a 2-drop creature here. Right. Just start with the Sentinel. Get the map guaranteed, and red-green won't have that easy time killing this on turn 3. And I have the staggering size, so any block they might have, you know, if they have a 4-power creature, I can still attack and not trade. Okay, with that thing, I'm going to use this pre-combat. Ideally draw a land, but if not, I can still play the frog. Okay, well that is a land, but it's fine though. I mean, that still gives me more mana, and I have a relevant play for this turn. They have an axe jaw there, but thanks to the staggering size, it's not a big deal. This is a game about attrition now, I think, because our resources are gonna, our cards are gonna trade, and who's gonna have the best you know, once the card have traded, who has the best board remaining? That's the question. Now, they might double block. Actually, it would be making sense for them to do that. And then I will just trade with the axe jaw. I'm not going to use the staggering size just to kill the kin caller, because this would die anyway if they double block. Now what I can do is pre-combat. Okay, well, I'm actually doing that. Pre-combat, do the explorer here. So if this gets a counter, then the double block will be bad. Okay. They shall know about the final strike. Okay, so now it's great. Both of those die and my sentinel will survive. And I can just well, I don't, well, sorry, I can actually play this thing, but I wasn't gonna, even if I couldn't, I wasn't gonna explore, kind of waste the explore, because I want to keep this on top. I want to have the, you know, selection possibility. And yeah, I'm gonna show them the another kin caller. It's not much. They're gonna, you know, change their plays based on having the information of me having this in my hand. Okay, Wonder Cliff. Okay, now it seems like my actual bummer is gonna matter here. This won't matter, I have nothing that interacts with my graveyard. So I can... This is total of 6 mana, so I can play the Altisor. Let's spread the counters, the potential counters a bit. This could be a land too. Okay, Cavern Stomper, let's draw that. And now this is gonna be 8 damage. They have no good blocks in here, and I can still play the Altisor. So now this is when this deck works. I mean, of course, a lot is about the Sentinel doing its thing, but it's about time I have some good good draws here. With after all the difficulties I have faced. Now this Cavern knows more is gonna be able to be animated. It's a 3/3 with 2 mana. And they have a monstrous sword which I can kill with the final strike. This gives +1/+0, so I don't have to do any death touch shenanigans here. Yeah, and they know about it, so they just concede, because what I was gonna do is just, you know, kill this thing and attack with this big thing, and they have to at least jump block, and the Altisor is gonna be nasty. Even if they get to, you know, stabilize on the battlefield. Alright, so did I learn anything? They have some more targets for my small creature removal, but not the kind of targets I care about. It's almost a kind of matchup where I would have even more pump effects, but I don't. Is the Hunter's Blowgun gonna matter? This deals 6, so it actually can't kill their Cavern Stomper, but the other stuff it will. But I suppose... I am kind of tempted playing the Malamet Veteran here, actually, in place of the Burning Sun Cavalry. It does seem like the board is quickly getting, filled with creatures that are big enough that I'd prefer to just have more big guys myself. It's a little risky having all those 5-drops, but then again I do have 3 frogs. Would I want to play the 4th frog in that case? Because it doesn't seem like the curving out is mattering that much in here. Playing these 3+ mana creatures seems to be more impactful, so I'm going to cut that one and I'm going to play 1 Malamet Veteran here. And now I'm thinking that am I supposed to play another frog here to make sure I can play these expensive things. Because the frog isn't useless later in the game either. It's just that I don't really want to cut like the kin caller or anything. I think I'm gonna just have to, be lucky enough to not, be stuck at 3 mana or something. I'm gonna keep this deck. This is the final game in this video, in this event. So hopefully I can get a good draw. Okay, the opponent Mulligans, and this is not the greatest draw, but both colors with the lattice is gonna give me most likely a turn 3 play. And I'm facing at least 1 Mulligan. This is a keep. Not the best one, but definitely better ones that I have had earlier. So, yeah, I'm gonna see a lot of new cards before I'm gonna make a turn 3 play. So these 2 and then the draw step on the next one. Okay, well there's at least something. This will give me a turn 4 Altisor. They are not missing. They are missing plays. All right, so not really. Yeah, this is easy. Nothing to do. So Altisor. Do they get their mountain? No, but they maybe have an axe jaw now. Yes, they do. It's a 5/4. They don't keep this, do they? Because they don't have the mountain. Yep. That's a good one. So I can kill the axe jaw with my yeah, this stuff in here. So I'm gonna play my own Altisor. Hopefully they don't have a kill spell on it, but we'll see. Take the damage. Please just play like another axe jaw or something like that. Don't leave mana up for a pump spell. Okay, there's no 1 mana pump spell I'm aware of in this format. Okay, jump. Well, this just made it pretty crazy now. Okay. Okay, this is actually insane. This is actually insane. Yep. Okay. And then still missing on the red mana. And look at this hand. The thing is, even if they play some big creatures, I can just push through with the stuff I have here. And they didn't even gain life there. Okay. I'll play the axe jaw now. Don't need to attack with the Ixquint now. Cavern Stomper is good, so I know I could attack with the Ixquint. I guess I am doing that actually because, yeah, although they might have, no, actually I'm not. They might have their own, staggering size, although it seems like they are not. I don't necessarily need to have a big hurry here, even if they have a land Cavern Stomper of their own. I have my final strike to just deal with it. Jade Seed Stones, yeah, that's gonna be about 6/6 now, but it's no big deal. The same applies. Give it my hand. This is no big deal at all. Alright, this will be a win now. They missed the red mana here, but the game 1 was also non-game from my part, so I guess there was one proper game in this final match. I am going to win here with many things. Let's do this. And this is all I need here. Okay, well, this is one of the. It's not my first Dino deck. That's like amazing in the sense that a lot of the cards were just opened. I did get the Colossus Dactyl, pack 1 pick 9. Green was completely open. I even had a fourth Kin Collar I didn't have in my main deck, a fourth Poison Dart Frog I didn't have in my main deck, and I had completely reasonable cards left on the sideboard because I had so many playables. Um, Deck was just amazing. I had a bit harsh starting hands, but even with the one game where I mulliganed to 5, I was able to win that game. So that's just the power of a good deck. So nothing much else to say about this great Dino deck. And yeah, just I opened drafted the open colors, and it was pretty obvious in pack 3 that mostly red and green, especially green, was widely open, and that's the reward you get when you can find the open colors. That was that. Claim the prize in here, and I will see you in the next video. I will continue doing these Lost Caverns of Ixalan videos probably until the next set. So even though it might seem like it's quite long into the release, it's still a format I'm quite fond of, and I have seen many people not like this set. I don't know why. Maybe the best of one version of this format is not so great. I don't know, I haven't really played it much, but I do like the best of 3 at least. There's a lot of, you can play these kind of a big dino decks. You can of course play those blue white, blue red fast decks as well, and even the descent stuff I've been sometimes successful with. So I like it, and I'm gonna keep drafting this until the next set releases. Thank you for watching, and bye bye.